13-year-olds Liberty German and Abigail Williams went missing Monday. The girls were last seen near an abandoned railroad bridge known as the Monon High Bridge around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The girls were dropped off near the bridge to walk around and hang out. They had made arrangements to be picked up by a family member later in the afternoon. But when it came time for the girls to be picked up, they never showed up.
And he saw something, and he couldn't figure out what it was. And there was 2 deer out there. But as he looked up to what that was, is when he saw them.
It was a volunteer searcher who discovered the bodies of Abby Williams and Libby German, laying in the grass between these trees deep in the woods.
He called his wife and said, "We found him." My sister come up and she was just crying. And she said, "I'm so sorry."
Waiting in that treehouse, but the spaceship never came.
What eventually led up to the discovery of the bodies?
Can't say.
Was it a deer?
No, it wasn't a deer.
And he couldn't figure out what it was. And there was 2 deer.
Was it a visual implication?
Depending on the rest of that statement,
So it wasn't footprints.
no.
Was it drag marks?
No.
Was it tire marks?
No.
Okay.
Like, are we talking about like 4-wheeler tires? Are we talking about car tires? The only ATVs that were around that I know of were Amy and Ella's on the 14th. So that'd be the only place that I know where tire marks would come from.
At least from that's why I contacted you, because I was researching those tracks, and the ATV, what Anna Williams eventually said, and I was like, holy shit, because people leak text, and I find that interesting, and I want to debunk them. But this one I did not want to debunk. I want to verify it. So that's why I made contact with you. You saw tracks, and I was doing research on tracks, so that's how we came across. So. You were saying.
I can.
Go ahead,
dude. I can even remember the track pattern of that track. Okay, like that's how distinct that track set in my mind that day. Like I can tell you that was it was like a triangle, like an arrow type pattern on their tire. Like I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember that track in that mud going up that hill.
So it was fresh, right?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
There was a physical implication. Was it coming from the creek?
Yes.
Okay. Did it look like something that was obvious?
Not at first glance, no.
So mud being like dragged away would drag something.
Do what?
Did it look like something? Well, you didn't say drag marks.
No.
Did it look like? Okay, the ground was disturbed, obviously. Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay.
Waiting in that treehouse, but the spaceship never came. So tell me now, what have we got?
I start seeing deer antlers.
Aliens and dinosaurs. Waiting in that treehouse, but the spaceship never came. So tell me now, what have we got?
I start seeing deer antlers and skulls of, I believe, was a rabbit in the tree. They were decapitated, just the face of the skulls and the antler, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
and they were just set like, you know how a tree will fork, so they weren't even like hanging on a broken branch so that they'd stay put. They were just resting in the forks of trees, you know what I mean? Just like placed in there. Yeah, and it was almost like it, you know, it had to almost be recently placed in there because, like I said, they weren't, it wasn't like a limb coming through the eye socket of this deer skull or this rabbit skull. You know, it was just resting there. So when the weather and winds would come through, you would think that stuff would fall out of them trees as they sway around. Which leads me to believe that they was recently done. And then right close to the bottom of that hill where I noticed the tracks, that's where the pile of bones were. And I'm going to tell you, there was all types of bones there.
See, like,
Oh, go ahead.
like you. Never mind.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I can't is the problem, but
Try to do it in a less lenient way then. Do a hypothesis.
no, I can't. But I don't know what you're implementing, but it's not even remotely close to what happened or how it came about. Like, this is the first I've ever heard about in 6 years now. Or any kind of drag marks, or I just learned about the marking on the tree a couple weeks ago. That is completely irrelevant.
I don't think it's relevant as well. You have this entire theory with Odinism. I wouldn't even bother looking into it.
No, that shit just blows my mind. Like, that doesn't even make any kind of sense. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
That's not something you would find in
It does not.
what you find in Delphi is perverted men.
Did you ever come close to the bodies?
I was 20 foot away from them.
So that is it. You weren't allowed up there.
See, I'm not answering that, but that is not 100% correct either.
So you wanted to. Okay.
No, I didn't want to. What I wanted to do was make sure somebody from law enforcement came to the area that I was at to secure the area that I was at.
Did you use the scanner?
What do you mean a scanner?
Did you have like a scanner on you that recorded that?
I had a department-issued radio, fire department.
Okay. Because that got recorded.
That got recorded?
We found girls' clothes underneath the creek.
Well, that's not true either, because I didn't say that on the... Well, I'm not saying law enforcement didn't. All I'm saying is I did not.
You did not? Okay.
What I did was contacted Carroll County 911 via radio and told them to call me on my cell phone. And then I gave them directions and coordinates to my location.
Okay. Then, Eric, did you take those pictures?
Not saying.
It's fine. So you were there with the second individual when you found those clothes?
No, sir.
Huh.
Not until Drew Yoder and Spencer Kingery showed up.
That is freaking odd. So,
And there was...
you were in the water, and you were wearing one of those wetsuits, right?
No. That was after I had already left. When I got relieved by Drew Yoder and Spencer Kingery, I walked up the hill and left the scene immediately.
So, goddamn it, David, that was way earlier.
What was way earlier?
Becky said to me that she got the phone call at 11:30, and They said to me, Ella McDonald took that image of the clothing at 1:13 or 11:13. That can't be possible. If he found the bodies, how in the world did he then find the clothes as well? Unless you need to tell him.
I don't remember an exact time, but it was early in 11:14.
It was earlier, right?
It was closer to between 9:45 and 10:30.
And my man, I'm really sorry that people gave you a lot of shit for the things that you have said within those texts. And, okay, let's say this. The things that you said in 2017, do you solemnly swear that as the truth?
Yes.
No, that's not her nor Libby. Abby was placed there on the ground like a doll. Hood up, hands folded, wearing the same clothes as the pic from the bridge.
So tell me now, what have we got?
I just got here. One coroner report stated everything was over by 3:30.
Correct.
Coroner's report stated everything was over by 3:30.
It was personal with Libby. So Libby's head was an inch away from almost being taken completely off.
Correct.
Because they use a different knife, that's why. Then, Eric, did you take those pictures?
Not saying.
Aliens and dinosaurs. Waiting in the
Information that was leaked via podcasts and internet was information that Delphi, Indiana State Police already had. In my first DNA fucking swab test and polygraph test, and Steve Mullins went through both of my phones, dumped them both, and left everything on one of my phones.
Did it?
So 6 years later, when people were asking me if I had any quote-unquote proof of anything, and then they came off my phone to somebody else, didn't really see it being that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I never had any pictures of the bodies or anything else like that, no. And I'm not... I mean, everything that I've told everybody, I've already told FBI, State Police, and fucking Delphi City.
Did it take
People
DNA
that-
from you as well?
Yes.
Because I'm led to believe that I do have DNA.
Yeah, they took my DNA 2 days after.
Mm-hmm.
Sat through like 72 hours of interrogation. It might not have been that much, but it was fucking. It was a week and a half between being questioned, interrogated, polygraph tests, everything.
Girls haven't answered their phones since around the time they went missing. Deputies, firefighters, and local police are checking every crevice and nook.
Looking for answers, looking for the girls.
But so are others from the community. And many of them say they won't stop looking, even if it takes
daybreak, fall over with exhaustion. Honestly, I hope they're just hidden up somewhere, scared to be in trouble.
Extensive search to find them.
Ravines, ditches, trash cans for phones, any sign of the girls, and anything we can find to just find them.
At first thought it didn't hit me until I got to the bottom and I kind of looking around and I seen the tracks coming out of it, and I got to looking a little closer and I could see the tracks going back up it. Like I said, one set of tracks, one set coming down and it goes back up. And then right close to the bottom of that hill where I noticed the tracks, that's where the pile of bones were. And I'm going to tell you, there was all types of bones there. Like I could identify squirrel, rabbit. I could identify, it appeared to be a dog or maybe a coyote. There was deer. There was other large bones that I just assumed was cattle or hog. Man, I'll tell you what was entering my mind at that point is that there's some type of satanic cult, and this may be where they practice. Mm-hmm. So as I'm going on, we get up, we walk up the tracks on through and we get up to the trestle area. It was like pitch dark at that point, and there was several people standing in the area. And so I'm going up and I ask one of the guys, because I go during the daylight, I didn't have a flashlight in my hand, I didn't. And so I go to cross these trestles, and I believe it was a fireman. I'm not positive on that. Like I said, it was dark. I was tired. And they tried to tell me I cannot pass through. Like, all right, first off, no, she's not my daughter, but I'm treating this as if. This is my friend's daughter, and I've been asked by my friend to come on scene and to help identify or, find them.
Dude, you were across from those girls,
From the way you showed me that map, man. Yeah. Like, there was nobody on this trestle, which struck me to be wrong and odd as all hell wouldn't have it. And so it really struck me odd that this was their focal point, that this was where they, because I believe that's where the girls were supposed to be meeting up with their father to get picked up. And so that was their focal point. And for them to not have it lit up like 4th of July just astound me. So, that's another point that just stands out in my mind so bad it's not funny.
Waiting in that treehouse, but the spaceship never came. So